and Anna van der Breggen really dug deep to hurt everybody there. They wanted to, like I said, it could be that those two go to the finish by themselves, but Danny King's done a fabulous job to stay in contact with them, but it's possible that these two will just ride as hard as they can all day until it's just the two of them left. Claudia Lichtenberger, big job to do. She wasn't ready for that move when it happened. She dug deep, and these two just kept driving the pace, and it's going to be very difficult for her to get back now. So this race is, Bolstolmans are taking responsibility.
Just a bit.
When you're a favourite team coming into a race, you can often say, okay, well, everybody's turning to us to make this race, and it can be a little bit daunting sometimes, but they've really taken responsibility and really want this victory. They don't want to leave anything to chance.
Well, the Wiggle High Five rider, Claudia Lichtenberg, is distanced by a few seconds as they start to go into the feed zone. Flat out, really. Anna van der Breggen and Lizzie Dijkman with Danny King on the wheel. And finally, after a very tactically nuanced race, full of complications and at times confusion as well, has crystallised down to a very clear situation. It's a two-up time trial involving two of the fastest riders in the world. Lizzie Dijkman and Anna van der Breggen almost have the entire race at their mercy, save for one rider, and that is, well, a rider that Lizzie Dijkman will know very well indeed. Former rider who you've worked with, Rochelle, and it's all down to her to spoil the party. Danny King has the responsibility of preventing Lizzie Dijkman or indeed Anna van der Breggen from taking the win here in Harrogate.
He seems to be nearly in an impossible position here, with those two are probably going to start counter-attacking until Danny King's not there, because Danny has managed to hang on to the wheels in the past and beat maybe not Van der Breggen, but depending on the work that they do, they don't want to take Danny King to the finish, that's for sure. It's a little bit risky, so they will communicate in a bit and see how they can shake Danny King. But as we said, Anna van der Breggen should be willing to hand this one over to Lizzie Dijkman. Either one of them could win racing against each other. Lizzie's having a word with Danny now, but wouldn't make sense for Danny to pull any turns because there will be some attacks, and she will struggle to hold these two at some point.
Well, normally in a feed zone, you see conventionally in a race some of the pressure taken off, and you see that the riders feeding. I didn't actually see any evidence of that. That was raced full on, wasn't it, throughout the feed zone by Dijkman and Van der Breggen. This is what remains of that group. That Dijkman just exploded with that acceleration. That Amy Peters has done a fabulous job setting up this big move from Van der Breggen and from Dijkman. She won't be bringing this back. Amy Peters still riding though, isn't she? I guess just on the off chance that these riders do come back, she still has a job to do. She can't entirely sit up just yet. But I think that's a big if.
Yeah,
the real question is, what can Danny King do about the situation in which she finds herself?
Oh, Danny's done a fantastic job just to be there with those two. So, out of this entire peloton, which is really world class, Danny's proven that she is one of the best climbers, and obviously very strong in the time trial and in intense moments. So she's been able to hold on to these two, and these Bolstolmans is a very confident team, and the riders will be relaxed and confident. But will there be a moment of fear about Danny King is still here? What are we going to do about this? So yeah, at the moment they're happy to just keep the pace high, but then they'll want to do something about Danny King being there with them.
We've got less than 50k to go now, and they're actually going to enter the flattest part of almost the entire parcours today. For the next, 15-20 kilometres, it is pretty flat, and then the road starts to rise again. And you've ridden these roads, or driven them, I should say, and you've pointed out there are a number of uncategorised climbs before the finish line in Harrogate, which, by the way, for the final 500 metres, as you'll remember from the Tour de France in 2014, it's the same run-in, features a climb.
Yeah, certainly not as easy as it looks on the profile. The final part of this race, there's still some nasty little pinches in there that will really sting the legs, but in general, you can see that they're trying to keep the pace high, and they won't ease off on the pace until they're really sure that they're not going to be caught by the big sprinters.
So just a reminder before we dismiss any other possibility completely out of hand, this is a second group on the road. It features Labou and Amy Peters and Roxanne Knetemann, the rider from FDJ. That's Juliette Labou, the rider from Sunweb. A further 44 seconds further back down the road, and 1 minute 40 behind the lead three is this group. And that is Corinne Rivera, just sitting on the back. Hannah Barnes is also in this group. So too is Giorgia Bonzini from Wiggle, as well as Cordon. So there are two riders from Wiggle High Five in that group. A couple of riders from Sunweb. So you wouldn't entirely rule it. They've got numbers. That's the one advantage that they do have, that group.
Yeah, 1 minute 40 now back to that group. I mean, it is a strong group, and there is every possibility that they could get back to the leaders, depending on, obviously, Danny King's not going to do any work out there, and, you know, it's all at work. And I was just going to mention nutrition. I mean, anything can happen, and you can go hunger flat, and suddenly the pace drops significantly. But these two riders from Bowles Dolmans are very experienced, so they're not likely to let that happen.